and it was so scary. Like, what is going on? Like, hey everyone, it's So from So's Real Thoughts. I'm here today with the real queen of horror, Zena.
Hi everybody, I'm Zena, as So said. You guys can find me here on YouTube, Real Queen of Horror, and basically I just talk a lot of horror stuff. I also go by your best friend who loves horror movies, so here we go.
Yes, I mean, the name says it all. I don't know anybody who loves horror films more than Zena does, and so I'm really glad that we are able to have this conversation. I asked her the other day, I was like, what is one of your favorite horror films? And one of them was Sugar Hill, which is another video that you should watch, as well as this Argentinian film called Terrified. I think it came out a couple of years ago. Let me just give you a little premise. Paranormal researchers investigate strange events in a neighborhood in Buenos Aires. You told me, you're like, oh, one of my favorite films is Terrified. It's also on Shudder, so watch it on Shudder. And so I Googled it, and the first image is this poster, and it was so scary. Like, if you know anything about me, I just don't like, first off, I really don't like supernatural things. I can do slashers, I can do like murder mysteries, but something about supernatural films in relation to kind of like borderline like ghosts and the undead, especially the undead that kind of looks like this, is really scary to me. So I was really hesitant, but let me hear your thoughts. Why do you love this film?
Okay, but first, thank you for watching, and I'm so sorry. I didn't know that you didn't like Supernatural. I would have picked something else. But, you know, I watched this movie a couple of months ago because some of my sisters, we've been trying to, you know, find ways to spend time together during this time. And, you know, we decided to watch it separately, and then we were going to have a group conversation. So I watch a lot of horror movies. I mean, a lot, right? So then after a while, it's just kind of like, okay, not scared. Usually when people tell me that this movie scared them, it's just like, yeah, okay. This movie though, I watched this movie, and you know what? It scared me so bad. I was afraid to use the bathroom. I was afraid of the dark. I was afraid. There was randomly one time I was going to get my wisdom tooth removed or whatever, and I'm trying to like describe it. And in my house, you know, I have my kitchen table, you know, I won't give any spoilers, but I know that you know what I'm talking about. So how my kitchen is set up, I have this long table that's similar to a particular scene. And then there's a door, a glass door. And the blinds were open just a little bit. And it's just like, why is it open at 3 a.m.? Whatever. So I'm just sitting there at the table, and I swore I heard somebody tapping on the glass. I wanted to just die.
This is in your house?
This was my house, you know, because this was like, I freshly just watched this movie, and I couldn't stop thinking about this particular scene with the kid at the table. That's what it reminded me of. The reason why I love it is because it scared me. I've been thinking about it for months now. I can't stop thinking about it. It's not only just that part. I mean, that scene will always be with me forever. But even like the beginning where you meet this family, or not even this family, you see this woman in her kitchen, and it's just like, what's going on there? I don't understand. Like, why would you just go to sleep? I would have been gone. Like, who needs a bag? I'll just leave. So it's just like, I just really love that. And I love the fact that with the director, he really does seem like he is just like a huge horror fan. So it just seems like he knows how to entertain. He knows how to scare his viewers. So
yeah, that's one of the things I admired, that even like right in the beginning of the film, he just like kind of went for it. Like, it is so jarring that, you know, most films are like 0 to 100. It like started at 100. And so I was like, oh, okay, like this is like that kind of film. And I'm glad that he really put a lot in the beginning to set like the tone and everything up, because what is to come makes everything a lot scarier. First off, what a film to watch during quarantine, because it is really about like things in your house, and this blend of realism and the supernatural is so thin almost. And when you talk about spaces like your house, a place that you're constantly in, but like things happen and you can't explain why. And I guess a minor spoiler alert is the fact that like in different directions things can appear differently is what kind of like what the
Right.
if what is going on? Like, wow, what a way to really talk about these dimensions that we are not aware of. And he's just really great, and not only directing but just like writing and keeping the suspense up, because there's a lot of flashbacks, and the way that it's edited, it's really layered, so like you really have to kind of guess like what's happening, and then it kind of reveals towards the end. I don't like the dark. So, and like I don't like gangly things.
You know, you watch a lot of things, and for something to like really just stick with you for this long, it's just kind of like,
What did your sisters think? Because that's like a lot for a
right?
person that doesn't really watch horror films. Like, ooh, why did I watch this?
They actually really liked it. With one of my sisters, she was trying to say, oh, it wasn't really scary. I'm like, what? Did we watch the same movie?
Oh.
It's kind of what you said, like there's that thing in the dark, and then, you know, there's something in the sink, and then something at the table, and it's like it's very psychological. So it's like, I know what kind of like horror movies like really get to me, and that is more of like the psychological ones, even ones that dabble in religion. I have no idea why, but that really gets to me. But like, or even like you even said it with the dark, you know, where it's just like they just make you, you know, they can just show something and leave the rest up to your imagination. And to me, it's like, it's such a, like, I don't like the feeling, because it's just like, oh my God, what is that, right? But I love it because I keep on going back, you know?
Yeah, I mean, just by the poster, I watched it outside, like on my laptop. I wanted the setting to be like chill, because I knew like what was on the screen was like really scary. And this image of when people are recording things because people don't believe what's actually happening to them, like that image is always really scary, because you're like watching the footage, but like you can't see it unless it's through this. Right. That's like one part that really scares me. And another part is when things are hidden in like household items, closets, or these drawers, or things like that is a lot.
And I actually watched it at night in the dark, okay? And yeah, I had to cut a lamp on because it was getting out of control. Like, someone didn't believe in something, so the person decided to record something. And it's just like, okay, I don't want to know at this point. Why do you keep going home? Like,
sucks when it's in your own home, because you can't really leave it. And even I was thinking, I was like, why don't they stay at some other place? But
right.
It's also like, would it also be at that other place? Is it a literal home thing, or like where your home is placed, or is it just like with you all the time? And yeah, it was really fascinating. I was when I was kind of researching upon it, I realized that Fox Searchlight is going to apparently remake it in English with the same director, but it's
nice. Okay.
But it's executive produced by Guillermo del Toro.
Oh my, of course.
So I was like, what? That's amazing. I don't know if it's still happening, but I'm like really interested to see how that'll turn out. I like that it's in Spanish. I think there's always an element to, like, a different element of horror, especially when it comes to foreign films. I feel like whatever their perspective is, I don't know if it'll translate right in
Right. I'm curious. I mean, I love that the director is still attached to the project. So it's just like, okay, that's great. Because I'm thinking like, okay, it takes place in a particular neighborhood. So there will probably be something about the neighborhood.
Yeah.
So, I mean, hopefully they'll still be able to like really pull through with the scares, maybe even surprising us with some new stuff. I do feel like you could see some other like little elements in there, like the director might be a fan of like Poltergeist, you know, because there was a little bit of stuff in there. I did see, you know, definitely Pet Sematary going on, which is just gross. I'm sorry. Like, that scene, yeah.
I don't know if I would have survived if I watched that at night, because the last film that really traumatized me was like Hereditary.
Oh.
And so I my bathroom's like right next to my room, so I have to just like run to the bathroom and just like turn on all the lights, because especially in that film, it kind of distorts darkness. So like, and my mind likes to play tricks on me. This is why I do not like to mess with supernatural things, because like I have no idea like where my home is on, what kind of land it's on, and like what's happening here. So I'm really glad I watched it, because I think I always got it suggested to me on Shudder, and I was like, oh no, that looks like really scary. So I'm gonna pass. But I was like, oh, let's buckle down, because sometimes being scared is like such a great feeling that it kind of makes you not worry about whatever else you're like, whatever problems you're having at the moment. So I watched it at a pretty good time. So.
Good. Yeah, like, and honestly, you're not alone, even when it comes to the dark kind of thing. Like, I know sometimes, like, I don't feel like this will ever change as long as I've been watching horror movies, as much as I love them, and I'm not going to stop. But it's kind of like, I find, sometimes when you're like, laying in bed at night, and you kind of just wake up, because maybe you have to use the restroom, or maybe you just need to turn over, you just open your eyes. There's always that dark corner of the room.
Ooh, I can't,
right? And that's what I mean. So it's just, I find myself just staring at it, and it's just like, what would I do if somebody or something emerged from out of there? I'm just gonna die. Like,
those are things I cannot let myself think about, because I will go in too deep and I'll spiral, and I'll be like, my house is haunted, and I have to cut that part of my thinking out.
I don't like when I see a movie where it's just like, oh, that's it, we're gonna pack up our stuff and we're gonna leave. No, I don't need anything. So I just want my keys and I just want to leave. Like, they can have everything that's in the house. I'll just start fresh, just start over. I'm totally down for doing that.
Yeah, I'm amazed that it wasn't really a thought in these characters' mind, which should have been the first thing, but it was more like, let's explore what's happening, which I'm like, okay, I want answers too. And they didn't give too many answers, but I think that they gave enough that I was like, huh.
Yes.
Okay, I can see an expanded version of this film or a sequel or something like that kind of takes a different take, because it was scary. Yeah, for sure. I was terrified. Okay. What a name. Definitely a good suggestion for people who don't like horror films or think that they can't get scared, because he does such a good job in crafting, like, even the angles. Oh God, the soundtrack, the music. Oh, yeah. Like, everything just added everything together to make this really great film.
What I really like about it as well is that there were some things that would happen in the daytime, but you still creeped out by it, without a spoiler. But the mother that's in this movie, as an example, and she was just in her house like there's nothing wrong. Like, I don't understand, but it was in the daylight, the sun was out, it was shining, and it's just like, wow, you're still like, I still feel like scared from this. So
for real. Well, anyways, thank you so much. Where can we find you, Zena?
So you guys can find me right here on YouTube. You just type in Real Queen of Horror.
Yeah, definitely follow her. I will link all her information down below and on the screen. Anyways, thank you so much.
Thank you.
Bye. I wanted to do a bonus round where, can we talk about what films you're looking forward to?